Remembering? I remember seeing Malice footage many years ago and thinking it looked interesting. A steampunk looking platformer with a little girl wielding a big mechanical hammer. Then I forgot about it. Then I remembered it again. Then I forgot about it again. Then when browsing for a game for this month, I saw it just sitting there. Holy shit, I have this? How long have I had this? The first world problem of being a game collector. Well, alright then, let's give this a whirl. Seriously, I genuinely forgot I had this. Argonaut Games. I was pleasantly surprised when reading their list of developed titles. Both Crocs, some Harry Potters, some games I may get to eventually, one of the Ren and Stimpy games. Did you know there were 4 Ren and Stimpy games on the Super Nintendo alone? And they were all shit. And also, both Star Foxes. Yes, including the only recently released Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini. I would have thought that was Nintendo only, but no, Argonaut co-developed it apparently. But before they bowed out after Star Fox 2, Argonaut made a curious little title called Malice. Get it? It's like Alice, but with violence. We open with Malice escaping from a facility of some sort. She faces this large fire dog thingy. He punches her head off and she dies. Well, that was short.
Death! Death! Death!
Arriving at the Beach of Souls, Death calls her a goddess. No goddess is allowed, apparently. So Death sends her off to sort that out or something. Malice walks through a portal and ends up at the Orrery, a large rotating platform in space. What's going on? Yeah, the game hasn't even started yet and keeps going like this. Prepared to be confused. Oh yes, and I haven't forgotten, it has the good widescreen. On this Orrery, Space Oreo, lives the Metal Guardian, the Keeper of the Universe.
Ah, Malice, you are alive once more.
I couldn't find much information on the voice actors, but this guy is sounding a lot like Horatio.
Poison.
Oh, shut up, Horatio. The Guardian here tells Malice that the being who killed her was Dog God. Really? But the Guardian cannot detect his whereabouts, since Dog God has stolen his 8 logic keys and given them to his minions. So of course we need a child, maybe? I'm not sure how old Alice is supposed to be. As you may have noticed by now, Malice is a third-person action platformer. A very floaty platformer. Malice's movement is oddly slow. It took a little getting used to, but this does have some platformer quirks. One I personally dislike, that I think all games should have, the option to invert the camera's X-axis. Some people prefer to have the camera turn left when the stick is pushed right, and others vice versa. That's fine, but when the game only does it one way, without the option to change it, that's annoying. Again, something that took getting used to. Like a lot of platformers of this ilk, there is the ubiquitous double jump. I think this was invented to make platforming less bullshitty, giving the player more range and a second chance to land it right. Because, like I ranted about in the Castleween review, perspective isn't always easy to judge. So, where to, Guardian? A talking tree? Of course. So many of those in fantasy games. He has a fungal problem, gross, so Malice needs to chase this awkward bastard and smack it a few times with, not the famous hammer that's in all the promotional material, but a cartoon ham-looking club. Oh, the first key. That was easy. Back to the Space Oreo and put it in this thingy. Where to now? A witch? Yeah, of course, how silly of me.
Oh, little black thingies! I don't like them! Get them away!
You want me to whack him, Grandma?
Clear out all the bugs in her hut, and she'll shrink Malice down so she can enter this pipe to enter the spider/glowworm realm. Are you still following? Because I'm sure not. There's a lot of kill or collect X number of things to progress in Malice. Not all though, there is variety. Some puzzles with platform pattern recognition, and robot manipulation for example. And hands up if you've never seen this in a video game. getting captured, thrown into prison, have all your stuff confiscated so you need to stealthily break out and retrieve them, because I never have. To help Malice, there are a few magical abilities to find along the way. Some are useful, like the shield and the slow time, but the one I saw no purpose to was glide. Now, glide would usually help a character to get across large gaps. Malice's glide is slow, short and hard to use. As you can see here, despite instructions, it took me several attempts to get it right. Then I never used it again. At no point in the game was glide necessary. I managed to complete it fine without it. Useless. I'm assuming this is very loosely based on Alice in Wonderland. Very loosely. A young unexpected girl ending up in a bizarre world full of equally bizarre characters. But who at Argonaut pitched this? It's like they quickly needed an idea, thought of Alice in Wonderland, and at the last minute realised they've never actually read or seen it. So, there's this little girl, see? And she gets beheaded by, Dog. And this metal dude gives her a big hammer, so she can go after some keys stolen by Dog. Because we all know if you jangle a bunch of keys, dogs will appear. But these keys are being held by Dog's minions. She needs to go into a tree to fight a caterpillar thing, shrink down to enter small places, killing crows along the way, painting their roses red. She travels from random location to random location, bumping into nonsensical characters trying to make sense of it all. This Malice review almost didn't happen, and I'll tell you why. Despite my original disc being in pretty pristine condition, it would refuse to load the Head Eater boss fight. I tried 2 other PS2s, I put the disc through my disc cleaner, nothing doing. So this required a quick purchase off eBay and I was back on track. I don't even know if it was the disc's condition or some other variable. One thing I did do was delete a few old unneeded saves, including 7 Sins. Yes, that's it. Let's blame 7 Sins again. Fuck you, 7 Sins. This also happened with Pirates The Legend of Black Cat. It puts a damper on production. A little advice, look after your shit. This makes no sense, but then neither does Alice in Wonderland, so mission accomplished? But that's okay. It's not like it's so nonsensical it's impossible to know what to do. It's not a long game, it's not a hard game, it's not a superb game, but I enjoyed it. I feel Argonaut had a central idea, but then just stuck random things on along the way. The locations and goals are inconsistent, and knowing why Malice is referred to as a goddess, and why she was confronted by Dog God to begin with would have been nice. It's like this is a sequel to a game that doesn't exist. A bit messy, but I think it turned out alright.
Get out! Go on!